Hi everybody, this is Valerie from Lexus. I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to make your app ad research a little bit easier. Okay, you guys all work on different stuff and different fact patterns and like a lot of different things. So I'm going to try to make it as applicable to everybody. So I'm going to start with something I know a lot of you guys work with in criminal law, and that is like sufficiency of evidence in that standard. So I would recommend doing it like this. I would quote sufficiency of evidence like this, or insufficiency, right? Because you want to get it either side depending on what you're doing, of evidence. And then on Lexus, once you guys start getting like really into the details of your facts and stuff, you can actually search by how the court held. And the way you do that is you say disposition, forgetting an I, sorry. And then you can say how you want the court to have held. Do you want them to have reversed the lower court decision, or do you want them to have affirmed the lower court decision? So you say what you want, and then you also say what it is that you're dealing with. So I'm dealing with, abuse of discretion. I'm dealing with FRERETA, let's say FRERETA, or ineffective assistance of counsel. Okay, these are all things that generally come up in AppAd. Ineffective assistance. Let's just say this, okay? Insufficiency of evidence, or maybe sufficiency, and they affirm the lower court, and then I'm going to spend all my time in California. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click search. Again, you can apply these ideas to whatever your set of facts are. I just kind of want to leave you with like the right search strings, okay? Notice this gives me 3,000. One of the tough things about searching, at least in criminal law, is that you get so many cases. So definitely you want to focus on the published decisions, okay? That'll automatically bring you down to 400, which is better. And then I really recommend you working within, searching within my results so that you can focus on what fact is the most important to you. Because a lot of times this thing really turns on the facts. So, okay, now I'm going to move on and just give you a couple other ideas. A lot of other things you guys work with is harmless error, let's say, and you want to connect this within the same paragraph as, and then what is it that you guys are working on? Abuse of discretion, or maybe it's judicial misconduct. But within that, what element, judicial misconduct and jury, tampering and all that stuff, that's very element driven. So there's going to be like an element in there that's going to be the most important to you. So I might actually then add in that element that you care about at the end, okay? Notice I really like to use this /P within the same paragraph. It lets you search conceptually, and what you're trying to do is connect the law with your fact. So the law goes on one side, /P, and then your fact. So this would be harmless error is the law, /P is judicial misconduct, which is actually still the law, and then you might put in the fact that particular judge did, that made you think he was judicially, being bad anyway. Okay, that's kind of the formula. Now we're going to move on. Statutes. Now, not everybody has a statute, so I'm just going to kind of cover this briefly, but if you're like looking for, let's say, like a California Penal Code, Cal-Pene Code 186.22. Okay, so this has to do with gang enhancements, the gang enhancement statute. I'm going to pull it. Here we go. Street gang, here it is, we go. Operative as of January 1st, 2017. So I'm going to click on that one. Couple things that you might already know, but just in case you don't, the key piece for you is to be able to go down to the notes. You want to know how this particular statute is being handled. And if you go down to the notes of decisions, it'll take you to all the different cases that are interpreting the pieces of this statute. Okay, this is like a big thorny statute that was just recently enacted. You might want to know. I mean, this encompasses a lot. Okay, so that's just another example about how you want to get to case law. The other thing too is if you're searching in case law and you're trying to find things that relate to a particular statute, you can connect it like this. I want people to talk about my statute, so I'm just going to do the section number 86.22, and then I'm going to connect it with the fact or the element that I want to be most addressed within that. So this might be, gang enhancement, okay? and then I'm going to click search, and I'm going to search in my case law on that. Okay, that's how you deal with statutes, by the way. You don't need to put in like the whole shebang, like Cal, Peen, Code. And the reason you don't do that is because there's a lot of different ways that you can abbreviate within a case. And so you just want to focus on the section number, or you can even put in like, if there's like a subsection, you can stick that in too. And that's an easier way for you to get more statutory stuff. Okay, onward. This falls under the category of I was given the record from the lower court, and I have a bunch of cases that are on point for me. Or you have found some cases that are on point for you, really on point, and you wish more than anything in the world you could find more cases like the ones that you have, but are more factually on point for you. So I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can use Lexus to get you more cases on point. So I'm going to pull my site. So let's say this site, this is also a gang enhancement one. Let's say this is the case that I really like that was given to me in my library, let's say. People v. Oritz, I'm going to pull it. Okay, 3 things I'm going to show you. The first thing is this. Lexus has this thing called the legal issue trail. You guys should all have this. What you do is you activate the passages, and what Lexus does is it boxes off all the different parts of the case that have been cited by other cases. So if you're really trying to find something factually on point, you can go to the proposition of law that you care about the most. Let's say it's this one that's boxed off. You just click in it. And Lexus is going to generate other cases that have also cited that case. And that way, it's a way for you to find additional case law that could potentially be on point for you. So that's the first one, okay? Legal issue trail. The second one, this toggle. So what you do is you just get rid of these when you don't want it anymore. This is actually, to me, my very, very, very favorite one. You scroll down to the Lexus Headnotes. Okay, oops, sorry, that was the wrong direction. You scroll down to the Lexus Headnotes. You focus on the headnote that is addressing the proposition of law that you care about the most, and then you shepherdize. Or let me do it this way. You can click more like this headnote. So what that does is it runs a natural language search on these words to help you find more cases like it, okay? It always starts with the case that you put in, and then it gives you more cases that are using the same language. Now, what you've got to do from there is go to the published cases, of course, but then after that, in order to make this really helpful for you, you have to search within your results, and you have to search within the elements that are most on point for you. So maybe in this case, it might be, substantial evidence within the same paragraph, right? I always want you to use that, and I might say gang activity, because those look like they're like the keywords for me that's coming up. So you can focus on whatever keywords are coming up for you, and then you click over here to try to narrow this down. Okay, now let's go back. So that's the second way. The first way is using the legal issue trail. The second way is more like this headnote. The third way, and my personal favorite, is you use the headnotes and you shepherdize the headnote. All right, so how does this differ from more like this headnote? It differs because it only relates to this very case that you like. So that means that all these cases that are now coming up, these 103 cases, they cited to People v. Oritz, and they also had the same headnote that they were citing to as well. So it's like a double whammy, and it can be really, really precise for you. And when you go scroll down, you can then scroll down. And again, I really recommend you using search within results so that you can get very specific about the facts that you're looking for. Okay, other thing that's important. Okay, I'm going to go back. Once you're finding case law for your argument, okay, you're trying to argue one way or the other. If you find a case that you really, really like, what I want you to do is I want you to shepherdize the case, but I want you to shepherdize it based on what you're looking for, okay? So if I want to find a case that I love People v. Oritz and I like the holding, and I want to find something that's factually similar but with the same holding, okay? I sort my shepherds by positive. If I don't like the holding and I want to find something that is criticizing the opinion, I then sort by the negative, which would be cautioned, questioned, or it'll give you the red stop sign. This one doesn't have one, but I'll give you guys one so you can see. Like this. This is a federal case. Okay, see here, I go, okay, you know what? I don't like this decision. I want to criticize it. It's undermining my argument. I go to warning, I go to question, I go to cautioned. If I like it and I want to find more like it, then I go to positive, okay? And it's really powerful to use positive on Lexus because we read every single case. And so if we say positive, it's really positively following the holding in this McNeil v. Econs Lab case, okay? All right. The final thing I'm going to show you, and again, if you guys have questions, you can reach out to me, but is how to use a really good case to get arguments that you can use in your brief. So what I want you to do is shepherdize it. This tool is going to help you find arguments that you can use and also other research tools. What you do is you go over here to other citing sources. Lexus keeps track of all the briefs, the appellate briefs that have cited to this McNeil case. So you click on other citing sources, and then do you see here there's 16 briefs and 14 motions. So I'm going to click on the briefs, and what I'm looking for is this is my case that's really good for me, right? So now I've got 16 different case appellate briefs that have also cited to this case I really like. And then you can even search within the results here to get something more factually on point. And then when you click in, you'll see it looks just like what you're writing, okay? Exactly like what you're writing. It gives you the count, the brief of the thing, the statement of the issue, statement of the case. It's exactly what you're writing. So if you find something really good, it's going to really help you with novel arguments. Okay, so remember, you shepherdize the case that you really love, you go to other citing sources, and then you narrow it by briefs. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. There's more to say, but it's better if I can work with you guys individually on what you're working on. But if you have individual questions, please let me know.